Welcome, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something important, something that might make you look at the people around you in a new way. Our world isn't just full of dangers you can spot from a distance. Some of the most harmful individuals blend in so well, you might never notice them until it's too late. They walk among us, smile when needed, and speak in the sweetest tones. But beneath that warm exterior is a cold heart, and it's up to us to recognize the signs. Let me share 6 red flags that can help you spot those who are not what they seem. These are the people who manipulate, deceive, and take advantage without a second thought. Once you know these signs, you'll never look at people quite the same again. Some of the most dangerous individuals go unnoticed because they've mastered the art of pretending. They know when to smile, what words to say, and how to make you feel comfortable. They're incredibly good at making themselves seem genuine, fooling even the sharpest minds. Kindness, when it's used the wrong way, can be one of the most dangerous tools. These people are always studying you, learning what makes you happy, what you trust, and how you feel safe. Once they know that, they're in no rush. They wait quietly until they know they have you right where they want you. They give you exactly what you need when you need it, making sure you never doubt their intentions. They understand trust better than anyone, and they use it to their advantage. But true kindness doesn't have an agenda. Genuine compassion isn't about getting something in return. It's not about reminding you of the things they've done for you or expecting gratitude. When someone's kindness feels too perfect, too well-timed, or too scripted, it's time to ask yourself, what do they want from me? What are they really after? Behind the mask, there will be moments where the real person slips through, small signs you might miss at first, but once you see them, it becomes clear. A lot of people have a hard time accepting that they've been deceived. They don't want to believe that the person they trusted, who seemed so nice, was actually harmful. They ignore the small signs, the little lies, the awkward moments, the things that don't quite add up. They make excuses because it's easier to believe in the fantasy than to face the truth. But if something feels off, trust that feeling. Your instincts are usually right. If you ever find yourself holding back or feeling uneasy, don't dismiss it. Ignoring that inner warning could cost you more than you realize. Our desire for goodness in others is part of what makes evil so effective. We want to believe the best in people, to think that those who show us friendship, love, and loyalty are being honest with us. That's why evil never looks evil at first. It shows up as gentleness, understanding, and kindness. At first, it feels like everything you've ever wanted, but over time, it will leave you empty and drained because it was never really about you. But what happens when you're no longer useful to someone who never really cared about you? When they no longer need you for what you can give, what happens next? That's when their true nature starts to show. Watch how they react when others are in pain. Do they feel anything when someone else is suffering? Do they flinch, show concern, or stay cold and indifferent? A true sign of a harmful person is a lack of empathy. When others hurt, they don't share that hurt. They may pretend to care, but it's only for show. Beneath the surface, there's nothing there. Once they no longer need you or your kindness, they'll forget every promise, every kind word, every moment that made you think they were different. Because none of it was real to them. It was always a tool to use, and when it's no longer useful, it's discarded. This is the cold, calculating side of people who never truly cared. They were only ever concerned with what they could get from you. Some people believe that everyone feels guilty for their wrongdoings, but that's not true for everyone. Some people never feel guilty at all. They don't question their actions or lose sleep over what they've done. To them, the discomfort they cause others is just a sign of their strength, proof that they can navigate the world without vulnerability or regret. Don't confuse this with confidence. This isn't the kind of self-assurance that comes from knowing your worth. This is the emptiness that comes from feeling nothing at all. These people are dangerous because they feel nothing. It's not their words, their friendliness, or their lies that make them dangerous. It's their apathy. Their lack of emotion, their disconnect from the world makes them unpredictable. They're capable of anything, and they won't hesitate to use others for their own gain. The scariest part is that you might not even see it coming until it's too late. You might think that your love, your loyalty, or your belief in their goodness will eventually bring out something better in them. But the truth is, your feelings and convictions can't change them. They can't manipulate your heart or your mind unless you let them. The power they hold over you comes from your willingness to believe in their facade. When you finally see them for what they are, when you stop making excuses for their behavior, that's when their hold on you begins to break. Evil thrives on ignorance. It feeds on doubt, on justifications, on the idea that maybe you're just imagining things. It wants you to question your own perception, to second-guess what you know to be true. It wants you to think that your instincts are wrong, but deep down, you always know. Will you listen to yourself? Some people don't need to shout or argue to get their way. They don't need to raise their fists or show their anger. Their power is subtle and dangerous. They don't force you. They manipulate you into questioning yourself. They twist your memories, make you doubt what you know, and slowly change your reality. You may have met someone like this, someone who constantly denies things you know to be true, who changes the past in a way that makes you question your own mind. At first, it might seem like small things, a little detail here or there. But soon, the pattern becomes clear, and you find yourself unsure of everything you thought you knew. If you ever find yourself in this situation, where reality feels slippery and uncertain, remember, it's not you, it's them. The world hasn't changed. It's their manipulation that's altering how you see things. Stay grounded in your own truth. Don't let them convince you that your memory, your feelings, or your instincts are wrong. They are your greatest allies. Some people break you gently. They slowly dismantle your assurance until you no longer believe your own thinking. You will provide facts, evidence, and a vivid recall of what occurred, and they will look you in the eyes and tell you you are incorrect. In addition to being incorrect, they will make you feel irrational for thinking differently. They will suggest you are exaggerating, theatrical, and hunting for imaginary issues. Something hazardous occurs when they repeat it enough times, wear you down, and weary you from defending your reality. They gain credibility. Consider if they're correct, possibly imagining things. Maybe you're overly sensitive. Maybe you're the issue. Once that idea sticks, they can't control you. Control yourself. You won't ask right away. Your instincts will be ignored. Before they need to, you'll quiet yourself. They win by doing this, not by correcting you. This is why they act otherwise. Clarity is the one thing they cannot control or twist. If you don't play their game, don't let them rewrite history and stick to the truth no matter what. They lose power. The minute you stop explaining yourself to someone who doesn't want to understand you and stop seeking approval from someone who lives on your uncertainty, they realize they have no authority over you. Control is everything for them. Thus, they cannot afford that. Watching someone break apart in their eyes is their greatest joy. When they see someone shatter, a glimmer of pleasure, so short that most people miss it, in seeing someone struggle and witnessing the anguish they inflicted. Pain is not accidental for them, an option, a determined choice. Some folks like hardship. Suffering is a live machine that knows what to do. Some folks like hardship. When you meet someone like this, you'll understand. You will have experience being around a person who appears practically fueled by destruction, a person who feeds on others' suffering, laughs too loudly when someone fails, and likes seeing someone squirm under pressure. At first, you may have doubts. You may convince yourself that they didn't intend it, have a wicked sense of humor, or don't understand how cruel they are. You know deep inside. You can see it in how they stay too long when someone is upset, and how they hide their enjoyment but not completely. Although they cannot injure themselves, they do not have to, since their power is not in their actions, in what they appreciate, develop, and create in others. After pushing, manipulating, and setting everything in motion, they stand back and watch the chaos and agony unfold like a show. Not everyone likes peace, not excited about peace. Their need for control, power, and supremacy is not satisfied, so they cause storms when they should be quiet. Instead of trust, they create conflict. They create questions where clarity should be, then relish the devastation they did. The idea that this behavior stems from cruelty is a misunderstanding. Cruelty is often associated with a sudden emotional burst, something done impulsively, without thought. But what we're talking about here goes far deeper. It's cold, calculated, and methodical. This is not the work of someone who loses themselves in anger or frustration. It's deliberate. It's a plan, a calculated destruction of trust, peace, and stability. So, what do you do when you realize you're dealing with someone like this? When you come to the painful realization that the person standing beside you is not just unkind but intentionally harmful, the first step is to accept it for what it is. Don't waste time trying to explain it away, and don't fool yourself into thinking they didn't mean it, won't change, or don't see what they're doing. They know. They always know. Every time you try to explain, to rationalize their behavior, you're giving them exactly what they want. You're suffering. People like this don't view pain as something tragic. For them, it's almost like a form of entertainment. The only way to protect yourself against someone who delights in watching others crumble is to refuse to crumble at all. Trust is fragile. It can take years to build and just moments to destroy. Once it's broken, it can take a lifetime to repair. But for some, trust is just a tool, a means to an end. To them, it's not sacred, it's expendable. Others don't experience trust the way you do. To them, it's something to use, manipulate, and discard when it no longer serves their purpose. They'll give you just enough to make you think they care, just enough to make you believe they're different from everyone else. They'll look you in the eye, promise loyalty, and make you feel safe. But when it benefits them, they won't hesitate for a second to betray you. It will be as easy for them as taking a breath. They don't view loyalty as a virtue. They see it as a weakness. And as for you, they don't see you as a friend, a loved one, or a partner. To them, you're just a resource, a stepping stone in a game they alone are playing. Some people betray for gain, others for the sheer thrill of it. They'll stick by you as long as it serves them, but the moment they find a better opportunity, they'll leave you behind without a second thought. There won't be any remorse, no looking back. To them, it's just another choice made for their benefit. But some betray because they want to see what happens. They enjoy the chaos, the shock, the reaction when they destroy your world. It's not about what they gain. It's about what you lose. They want to see the change in your eyes when you realize that the person you trusted was never really on your side. They won't be sorry when they've hurt you. If they show any regret, it's just a show, part of the performance they put on to make you doubt yourself, to make you question what you already know. Betrayal leaves more than just scars. It leaves you with doubt. It turns you into someone who wonders if you can ever trust again. It makes you question everything, including your own judgment. It poisons the good memories you have, twists them, and leaves you wondering if you were ever seen for who you truly are. But here's the truth. Betrayal says nothing about you. It doesn't mean you were foolish or naive. Trusting others doesn't make you weak. It means they were shallow enough to throw it away. Betrayal is not a mistake. It's a choice, and once someone chooses it, they'll do it again. Because once they've tasted the power that comes with breaking trust, it becomes an addiction. The thrill of controlling someone, of watching them fall, it's too enticing to stop. People like this want power, pure and simple. They want control over you, over others, over everything. They're not interested in love or friendship or connection. They want to be the ones in charge. They expect your respect and compliance, and if they don't get it, they'll manipulate, intimidate, or take it from you. To them, there's no value in equality. They don't want a partner. They want a subject. They seek domination, not just cooperation. And they're patient. The most dangerous ones don't always use force. Some will. They'll resort to threats, fear, and aggression to get what they want. But the truly dangerous ones don't need to raise their voices. They don't need to lay a finger on you. They'll convince you that giving them control was your idea all along. They'll make you feel like you're the one making the choices, when in reality, they're slowly taking everything from you. They'll test your boundaries, pushing you to see just how far they can go before you stop them. If you let them, if you allow yourself to believe their lies, if you convince yourself that they didn't mean it, that they'll change, then you've already lost. The key to dealing with someone like this is not to engage. Don't try to reason with them. Don't beg or plead. They know exactly what they're doing. The only way to regain control is to take it back for yourself. You don't need to explain, and you certainly don't need to justify your actions. Simply walk away. Take back your power, your choices, your thoughts, your life. The one thing they can never control is you. And when you do, know this: you are seen. You know who they are. You don't need to justify their behavior. You don't need to make excuses for them. The most important thing is that you leave. The people who crave control fear one thing above all: someone who refuses to be dominated, and that person can never be their friend. So stay alert, stay aware, but most importantly, stay free.